What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So it is good to be back. I am back home now. I had a pretty crazy experience coming back. It took me to get from Boston to Los Angeles, it took me about 11 hours. So I'm going to save the story for my other channel. I do have a travel channel. So if you guys have not gone over to that travel channel, I'll post a link in this video. So in the comments, it'll be pinned at the very top. So you can go over there and you'll see what I'm doing when I'm out in Colombia or when I'm wherever I am around the world. You can follow my journey there. But pretty interesting when it came to the whole flight situation. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and get to the story today. We're going to talk about Social Security nightmares. So I have talked about this before, and I followed this story, and I also followed the hearing. The Social Security Administration was subpoenaed to speak in front of the House on issues that are surrounding Social Security. And so this is nothing new. And we know that the Social Security Administration this year alone in 2023, about 1 million people will receive letters saying that they owe money to the Social Security Administration. And of course, if you are living on a fixed income, let's say you're retired and you're receiving Social Security benefits, this is a huge deal. Even if it's only a few $1,000s, it's still a big deal because it's going to be hard for you to pay that back. And if you choose not to pay that back, the Social Security Administration, they can cut your checks off. And so we're going to take a look at a story. Now, 60 Minutes has been covering this story, so I'm going to show you a clip, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. And then I think I might actually show you another clip tomorrow because the story actually, it got better at the end, so I want to show that too. But the segment was just too long for me to do it in one video. So that's what we're going to focus on today. But first off, if you guys can do me a favor, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you'll get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification, clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. And just a reminder, thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. And if you'd like to follow me on Twitter and Threads, you can at the TEC Show Live. You can also follow my travel adventures on Instagram at Travel Explore Click. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to show you guys this clip first, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. Here we go.
Each month, about 71 million Americans, retirees, disabled workers, and others, receive checks from Social Security. But each year, about 1 million people get something else in the mail, a bill. They're told they owe the government money, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars, because the Social Security Administration miscalculated their benefits and paid them too much. It can happen to anyone, and it can take years, even decades, for these unexpected debts to suddenly come to light. It often doesn't matter if it's not the recipient's fault, they still have to pay. Few people realize it, but Social Security's mistakes are your responsibility.
The story will continue in a moment.
Last year, at Stephen and Becky Sword's home in Chicago, a letter arrived from the Social Security Administration. When Becky Sword read it, she was stunned to discover that she and her husband owed Social Security $51,887 and were expected to repay it within 30 days.
That letter changed your life?
Oh, yeah.
Are you scared?
He's thinking we're going to lose our house. What are we going to do? I mean, we were very scared.
When we spoke with Stephen and Becky Sword in August, Stephen was making $16 an hour as a security guard on the overnight shift at a condominium complex. Becky was working days as an occupational therapy assistant in a nursing home. They're 62 years old and have worked full-time most of their lives. But for several years now, Stephen's been dealing with the effects of a pancreatic disease that nearly killed him in 2016.
How long were you in the hospital for?
About 105 days. It was hard because when I left the hospital, it took me about 2 months to learn to eat and walk again.
Stephen started receiving Social Security disability checks in 2017 as he recovered and returned to work. The agency's rules are complicated, but Becky faxed Stephen's pay stubs to Social Security so the agency could monitor his earnings and eligibility. She kept the fax receipts.
So I knew they were getting it,
Right.
In return, Social Security sent the Swords letters like this one, saying it had increased Stephen's benefits to give him credit for his 2019 earnings.
Is the impression you got from that they're examining the pay stubs
definitely.
and they're paying attention and adjusting
because they're
accordingly?
increasing it. Yeah.
But the letter the Swords got last year from Social Security said Stephen shouldn't have gotten any money at the time the agency gave him that increase. Stephen and Becky owed more than $50,000, the agency said, because we did not stop his checks about 3 years sooner.
Has anyone at Social Security ever sort of apologized?
No, they take no
They
blame
say
at
it's
all.
our fault.
They're saying you should have known that
They're making too much money.
that Social Security was giving you too much money.
Yeah.
Even though Social Security didn't know that they were giving you too much money.
Which is strange because you're sending in all your pay stubs. Someone has to file that.
And when we asked them, they said, well, they're not looking at that every month. And then she even said, well, they're not even looking at it every year. I would think yearly, at least they would review it. I could see making a mistake after a few months, but not 3 years of a mistake.
No.
And then they blamed it on COVID. They blamed it on being understaffed. And so to me, right there, it's saying it's their fault.
The Social Security Administration told us its privacy rules prevent it from commenting on individual cases like the Swords, and no one from the agency would give us an on-camera interview. But Kilolo Kijakazi, the acting commissioner of Social Security, gave this testimony before a congressional committee late last month.
How many people are receiving overpayment notices in a year?
For FY 2022, 1,028,389. For FY 2023, 986,912.
Seems like an awful lot.
Okay, so you can see that this is clearly a huge problem. And you saw the couple there, they owe, almost $52,000. And basically they told them, the Social Security Administration told them they had 30 days to pay it, which is crazy. I couldn't even imagine getting a bill like that and them telling you have 30 days to pay it. So situations like this we see continue to happen. And the Social Security Administration really needs to stop all of this. And they have the discretion to wipe this out. And so that's what they need to start doing because they are making the mistake. That is the problem. And like in this situation, the wife said that she was faxing and she had copies of the faxes of his pay stubs every month. And the Social Security Administration was actually increasing his payments. And so someone needs to be looking at this because they're not looking at it or they're just not, they don't care. But what they're doing is they're creating these problems for these families. And it's just amazing to me that the Social Security Administration at this point doesn't say, you know what, this is our mistake. Yes, it's 1 million letters that have gone out, but it's 1 million letters that are being sent out because we messed up. And so that needs to be wiped out. Now, during the hearing that we watched a couple of weeks ago, when I was showing you guys some of the different clips there are a lot of different ways that they were talking about they need to address this problem. But I think the first thing they need to do is to start from scratch, to wipe all this debt out and then move forward from that point on and don't let this stuff happen again. It's okay if it happens for a couple months. I can understand that. But if we're talking about years, there's no way that something should be going unchecked for 3 years. And then when they find out, then they say, oh, you know what? We're sorry, but you owe us $52,000. It's just, it's ridiculous. And if you put more pressure up front to the employees, telling the employees, look, we need to catch this before it gets a year or 2 years down the road. If you address that, you're not going to see these big bills of $50,000, $100,000, $200,000. You're not going to see that because they're going to catch it early, which they should be catching it early. So I think to move forward, you should just start out by wiping out this debt. And then from that point on, don't let this stuff happen again. And if it's continuing to happen, then obviously the Social Security Administration needs to be investigated as far as the, who's running things and how are they running things, because they're just not doing a good job. And so there are more stories out there like this. I will continue to follow some of these other stories, and I'll show you. I've even had some people in the comments let me know that they received a bill saying that they owe thousands of dollars to the Social Security Administration. So this is a huge problem right now. With all the other problems that we're seeing right now, this is another thing that we need to look at when it comes to the Social Security Administration and when it comes to Social Security as a whole, because we already know the trust fund is running out of money. And in 10 years, if Congress doesn't come together and reform Social Security, we're looking at the trust funds running out of money, which means that would be about a 23% decrease in Social Security benefits. So we have that issue. And now we're looking at another issue where we're finding out that people have been overpaid and now they owe thousands of dollars back to the Social Security Administration. And remember, the Social Security Administration could say, you know what, you have 30 days to pay it. And you say, well, I can't pay it in 30 days. And guess what they can do? They can just start cutting your benefits. And so it's just amazing how this is all playing out. I'm hoping that in the future they just realize this and they just start wiping out this debt and then moving forward from this point on. I want to know what you guys think, so let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.